We celebrate Columbus. They celebrate who they celebrate and what they celebrate.
What about Trump versus Harris?
The whole Make America Italian again, you can't argue with that. Hey, Chicago, you're doing well because we lost Columbus Day.
Ciao, everyone. Welcome to the Hardcore Italians podcast. We got our favorite guest in here, Ron Onesti. Ron, thanks for coming back as always, man. Appreciate it. I know you got a busy schedule, so
we're all busy, but it's really cool. I mean, you know, we're up Columbus Day and Columbus weekend, and Italian Heritage Month, October, is upon us.
Yep.
And yeah, it's a full-time job and a half to do this, but it's fun.
Yeah,
I love it.
I know. I was gonna say this is the best time of year. There's so much going on with everything Heritage Month, and even, you know what I mean, like the bocce tournament and all this stuff. Like, everything's just fun, man. I love this time of year. The weather's like not too hot too. Mm-hmm. It's like perfect weather. So much fun stuff going on. Columbus Day, like, I love it, man.
We as Italians have 2 Christmas seasons. You know, you're really all the fun and all the family and all the camaraderie and everybody coming together and all the events and stuff. It's like the holidays.
Yeah, exactly. I was telling my fiance the other day, I'm like, I'm so excited. October's in a week. I was like happy about it. So
know,
yeah,
right?
Agreed. But yeah, I mean, talk to us, man. What's going on? Is there going to be any differences with the parade this year? Or what's going on with everything?
Well, there's so many things happening, Mike. You know, we're trying to really accomplish things that the parade really was set out to do. You know, we could think of it as just another event. You know, it's a parade, but you know, we've repositioned this initiative, and that's what it is, an initiative, to really perpetuate our culture in a way that not only should be done, but needs to be done. I'll give you an example. You know, the theme this year of the parade is bridging gaps and perpetuating our heritage and protecting our culture. And what does that mean? That means that we are coming together with other ethnic groups, Native American groups. We are going to have 40 members of the Native American community come and be a part of our parade, all in costume, sharing their culture, members of 5 different tribes, Apache, Navajo, and others, Sioux. And why are we doing that? Because we're realizing as we're on the road and this whole thing about anti-Columbus and cancel culture, it's only a few percent of, and they call them radicals, that are against the whole Columbus thing. When you talk to a Native American, at least the people that I've spoken to, members of this organization called the Native American Guidance Guidance Association, which are people that are of Native American descent, and they are against the cancel culture, and they even contacted me, and the Guardians have said, you know what, we believe in what you believe in. We as a community are going through what you have gone through, and we want to come together and show people that we can get through this together. We all have the word American in our name. You're Italian American. We're Native American. And by the way, I'll give you another example. You know, I started talking to them about Indigenous Peoples Day, and we believe in, you know, the plight of the indigenous people. And they said, you know, we have to also, if you don't mind, respectfully correct you on that. We're not big on being referred to as indigenous people. We're Native Americans. Indigenous people could refer to Spaniards and Haitians and all different other ethnic groups. We are Native Americans. That's who we are. So when we talk about Indigenous Peoples Day, that's not necessarily about Native Americans. Of course, they're included, but not solely for that. People don't even realize that. So we want to help you, the Italian American community, tell the story, the real story of Native Americans. And so they're going to come in and be a part of our whole weekend and come in costume and do dances and do songs and have press conferences and show that we can exist together respectfully and celebrate who we need to celebrate. We celebrate Columbus. They celebrate who they celebrate and what they celebrate. And we should respectfully celebrate that stuff together. It's going to be a big initiative with our parade. So that's just one initiative.
That's
we also
awesome.
have 3 grand marshals. I'm so excited. I'm announcing it to you right now, to the world, because it happened yesterday. I'm very excited about this. So you know who Sean Stellato is.
Yeah.
He's a super agent that was responsible for this with Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
The quarterback from last year that was just all over the place. And he has agreed to be the National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame person on their float, and he's going to be one of our grand marshals. Another friend of yours, very close friend of mine, worked very closely, Sal Valentinetti, the voice from New York, has agreed to be here as part of our Columbus Day weekend and also be a Grand Marshal. And why? Because we believe in that young man. We want to help him in his career as much as possible. He's been a friend to Chicago. He's performed here. He's going to be performing 3 days at my Club Arcada Speakeasy the weekend after Columbus Day, doing all his sounds of Sinatra. So if there's one thing that should join us as a community, it's the music of Sinatra. Will do it. So he's going to be our second Grand Marshal. But here's a big thing, a big announcement. Our third Grand Marshal, a very, very good friend of mine, and I'm not just dropping names, but I've been working with him for 25 years. And he says he's been asked to do this by New York, been asked to do this by Los Angeles, by all over the place. He says, I just really don't do that. But we've been working together so closely for so many years. I'm going to do this for you. Paul Anka is going to be our Grand Marshal. I know, he's going to be there. And it's great because, well, I kind of strategically structured it. He's also doing a show on Columbus Day at the Des Plaines Theater. So I had him in town anyway, kind of made it accessible for him. But he never does that. He's going to do it. Paul Anka will be the Grand Marshal of the 2024 Columbus Day Parade and be in the parade. So I'm in tears, Mike. I'm in tears.
Awesome.
Are you kidding me? We've never had anybody that big. Calls me back 10 minutes later. He goes, here's what I'm going to do for you. And I would never do this for anybody else. He goes, you have speakers out there? And I see he's going to go down. You're not going to do a song because we have an opening ceremony now we did last year. You're not thinking about doing a song. I mean, is there anything else? Are you going to wash my car for me too, Paul? Uncle Paul, I call him without dropping names. And he said, no. He says, I'm going to rewrite my way to represent Columbus Day and sing it for you at the parade. I'm like, I know. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, this is not happening right now. He goes, yes. He goes, make sure that the sound is right.
Oh my
but
God.
I will open the parade with my way with new words about Columbus Day.
Oh my God, I got chills. That's
like,
crazy.
This is not happening.
Oh my God.
So, and I'm announcing on your show right now because it just happened hours ago. And so we have a joint civic committee meeting tonight, and I'll announce it there. But
oh my God.
I know. And then we're also going to be introducing to our community the brand new Consul General. His name is Mario. Excuse me. I get choked up with this stuff, as I should be.
Yeah.
But Mario Bartoli, he's the new Consul General in Chicago. Just got here last week. He'll also be there. And Scott Harris of Scott Harris Hospitality, who owns all the Francescas and the Davantes and all these great Miyamoto's, these great restaurants. And I'm telling you, we all know great people in our lives and wonderful people. I don't know that there is a sweeter, warmer, more generous individual. And I know I'm going to get in trouble like this, but Scott Harris is an amazing, he's not even Italian, but he realizes how much the Italian American community has supported his business, and he's giving back, and he has agreed to be our chairman of our parade for 2024. So he'll be there, floats with all his restaurants, just very, very exciting. And then we also have several other, people that will be, the entertainers will be in the parade. Tony Ocean, of course, will be there. Daniela Crocco, so many will be there. So I'm telling you, the parade is going to be the biggest and meaningful.
Yeah.
I mean, when you've got the Native Americans in there, and we also have the Polish, we'll have about 16 other ethnic groups as part of the parade. Mm-hmm. So when you talk about community, when you talk about mutual respect, I mean, that's what this parade is supposed to be.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like it's important too because it shows like we have support from everybody, and it kind of shows kind of the, I don't know what's the name for it, like you said, it's a small percentage of people who have issues, and it's not really the actual people that, you know what I mean? They're like putting issues. I don't know. I heard something too, even with baseball, like the Guardians. They don't like how they changed the name from the Indians to the Guardians and changed the logo. Like I've been hearing stuff.
Exactly,
like that.
And this organization is about that too.
Yeah.
We're not for that. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, they're trying to set up a meeting with the Chicago Blackhawks to show them and give them a gift to show them the support.
That's awesome.
Because they're celebrating. I mean, look, nobody wants the Chicago Dagos, a team like that. Anything that would reference, an ethnic group in a negative, So of course,
Yeah.
and we all do that. But when you have a team that celebrates a name and celebrates a culture and does it in a respectful way, why not? And that's where they say the radicals are just against anything using our name. And they say, why should we be against the Chicago Blackhawks? Promote the Blackhawk tribe. Why would the Braves? I mean, people, as long as you do it right.
Yeah.
Sure, there's cartooning. Sure, there's that kind of illustration. We got to watch that stuff, of course, especially now. But anyway, the point here is even with those with the ethnic group, I've had some people say, "Why do we, this is an Italian thing? Why do we have Polish people in our parade?" Well, you know what? We're supposed to be bridging gaps. Extending olive branches. As we get diluted so much in our community. We are now third, fourth, fifth, sixth generation Italian right now. So as that happens, it's even more important that we extend the olive branch to our Greek cousins, to all of we got the Asian community to be a part of it. We're all fighting the same thing, and we're all perpetuating the same thing. And the Native American said it best. We all have American in our name.
Yeah. Also, I feel like with Columbus Day, although I know like the root of it was to kind of give something back to Italians for all the discrimination, but I feel like overall, like it's not something you have to specifically be Italian to celebrate. Like when I think of Columbus Day, it just reminds me of the story of like we immigrated here.
That's right.
And literally everybody here is an immigrant. And I just look back on like we're a country of immigrants, and it's cool how everyone can blend together, and we're a nation under God. And that's what unites us, not necessarily, you know what I mean? So I start thinking about like the deeper like story of America every time I think of Columbus Day. And you know what I mean? I feel like people just make it out like it's just something Italian American. So that's why it's cool to have all the other cultures and stuff. And I think it's huge with the Native Americans too, because didn't we used to like fight about Columbus Day back in the day? Has that changed, or was there
with the Native Americans?
Yeah.
Well, 100%. I mean, there again, that's what I was referring to. It's the Native American. I guess they're radicals part of them, what they're saying, and I even shouldn't even say that, because I think as they reference to the radicals maybe started it all. But again, there's a lack of education in our community and all communities about what really happened. We have authors, we have scholars that really put down. What actually happened. We have the facts. And again, I don't want to get too deep into it on this podcast, but there are resources out there. And some resources came out in the 80s. They were all anti-Columbus, all lies. And I'm not going to give them that much credence to this thing, but that's what started the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then from there, it just perpetuated. So a lot of people who are against Columbus because of what he did, quote unquote, to the Native American community, slavery, murder, genocide, all that stuff, it's just not true.
Yeah.
Part of it is a function of the times. It's 600 years ago.
Exactly.
I mean, slavery. I mean, how do you think the pyramids got built? That's 5,000 years before Columbus. You think there wasn't a slavery already around? And he was against slavery. It's right there. Did he use them? Don't keep in mind, the people on the ships, remember, they thought the world was flat back then. They thought you can physically fall off the edge. So how do you think he got the people on the ships to be with him? They were the criminals. They were Spaniards. They weren't Italians. They were Spaniards. Nobody's against Spain about Columbus and that whole thing. It's against Italy. So there's so many mistruths. And over the years and over the generations and over the decades, it's gotten diluted, and it's gotten, So anyway, it's a bigger story about Columbus. But the bottom line here is the fact that we as Italian Americans honor this individual, this icon. This is somebody who we respect. So again, that whole thing, you may not agree with me or with us or with our community, but you should respect us the way you would want us to respect you. You may have a leader in your community like, this guy was a killer. This person, destroyed so many other. Look at some of the people that even out there, the leaders that are behind their leader that killed so many people, but it's their leader. You got to respect who they respect. You don't necessarily have to respect the person, but respect the people who are honoring that. And that's what we're looking for. So anyway, let's get back to the parade.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's happening that weekend.
Okay.
Because we can go all about Columbus.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
hours on that.
and I don't know if you could give me kind of a shorter answer on this one, but something I like to ask you is like, what's one thing, because again, the media just keeps bombarding everything you said, all the bad things about Columbus. But what if there's someone out there like younger and they want to support Columbus Day, but they're maybe scared to because they know if they say something or post something that they're going to get hit with everything the media says with the genocide and this and that. What would you say to that person to make them more confident to go out and celebrate Columbus Day, where if someone calls them out, like, why are you supporting Columbus Day? He was a mass murderer, this and that. Like, what would their response be to like feel more comfortable not caring and promoting it and getting more out there?
Well, it's tough because who wants to, it's a function of your personality. If you want to fight about it, you could easily, because the simplest answer is, you may not agree with me, but I respect this person. Why wouldn't you respect me? By you being against me, you are not respecting who I believe in. So you don't have to agree with it, but you don't have to fight me on it either. Yeah. So that's the simplest answer. Okay. If they want to get deeper, the fact that Columbus brought Christianity, that was one of his main goals. He brought Christianity to the New World. Mm-hmm. He was a monk. He adopted the son of a Native American friend of his who got killed. He adopted his son. He became a monk. It really kept on perpetuating Christianity. I can go on and on and on. Slavery, the biggest proponent of slavery of the African Americans were the Africans. The biggest slaveholders was Africa. Way before. I can go on and on.
Yeah,
Again, here's the thing. We put together, if they want to contact you at Hardcore, if they want, we have a magazine, of Franoy, but we did a special edition last year that have all these bullet points. If you want to know what the reality and the truth about Columbus, this issue that we brought up, we put together, has 3 parts. One part is why Columbus matters. Mm-hmm. The second part is all the things that you don't realize, the fact that Italy is number 4 or number 3 in the world when it comes to space travel or these other biochemistry things. You think about this, Italy, it's pasta, pizza, fashion, Ferrari, of course, but there's so much more to Italy. And there's also a piece of it that just talks about all the things going on in the Chicago community. So we can get issues to any of your followers. Happy to do that.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be cool to get a PDF or something that we could send around.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because there's that one story too, and I don't want to drag on it too long, but there's that one story that always surprises me too with like the cannibals. Mm-hmm. Do you know that one where Columbus saved there was or do you know more about the story? What I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Taino tribe out there. They were literally eating each other. That was part of it. There's so many of these stories. Yeah. You can really go deep and find that when he got there, there was cannibalism. Mm-hmm. They were fighting each other. They were killing each other. Mm-hmm. Again, you got to think about when and where. You're in an undeveloped country or undeveloped land that was 600 years ago, when slavery and other things that we would atrocities was part of everyday life. If you put yourself in that perspective, and the fact that, look, you can't argue with what he accomplished. Mm-hmm. And they say that he took back 500 slaves and was slave trading. Yeah. They only fit 50 people on the Santa Maria. Mm-hmm. Where the 500 slaves sit? Yeah. There's things that just you gotta like, huh? So there's all kinds of things like that if you really want to get deep. But over the years, the story, just like any other story, myths become reality, becomes fact, and we're pulling people back. Again, there are books that show that by doctors, by PhDs, say no, that didn't happen. It wasn't like that. So if you really care that much to the point where you're going to go and slam your fist and say, Columbus was this, Columbus was that, well, get the facts. And we can supply it to you. And part of it is that we're going to have these people who know about Columbus here that weekend. Mm-hmm. All right, because they're all about it. They want to tell people, hey, this is how we really feel. Mm-hmm. And we support the Italian American community. It's amazing to have, again, that's why our parade's we're going to have Native Americans on TV doing a press release strictly to talk about why it's important to celebrate what the Italian American community wants to celebrate, why it's important that we should celebrate together, and why this isn't about cancel culture, and this isn't about anti-Columbus. This is us about growing and becoming stronger and becoming a closer community.
Exactly.
It's earth-shattering. Plus, Paul Anka singing about Columbus Day might be throw another little.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like news networks are going to pick that kind of stuff up.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Like, you got a lot of good things that are probably going to make this viral and blow up like good news.
Yes.
So I respect it. I mean, you're doing this is awesome, man. I'm excited for this year. I didn't know half of this. You know what I mean?
Well, it's all
so,
just happening. Unfortunately, I wish I could do this a year in advance, but people, because they're nervous, or we got to be very strategic how we're getting them in. I have to bus them in. We can't fly them in. I'm busing them in, and they're in a big bus that says Indians, like actual Native American. It's just amazing what's going to be. The bus is going to be in the parade. They're coming. They're going to be all in actual garb with the headdresses, the whole deal. They're going to be singing and dancing and sharing their culture. I can't even, it's something we've been trying to do for years. And it's not just a bunch of Native Americans. These are leaders. These are members of an organization. The president of the organization's coming.
Yeah.
It's legit, and it's happening in Chicago.
That's awesome. Yeah, if you're in Chicago, you got to come out for this for sure, 1,000%.
I'm going to give one more.
Okay.
So we thought, actually, I got two more.
Love it.
I know, man. It's freaking out of control. So the marathon happens the day before every year, and every year there's some people. We just realized that there's Italians from Italy that come.
Oh, wow.
So Enza Ranieri, who's part of the Milan Sister Cities Project, and she's also the chairman of our government relations committee and past president of Joint Civic. She has been in touch with the marathon runners. And so we found out, and we're in touch now with the marathon. There's 700 coming from Italy to run in the marathon. And a lot of them, we don't know how many we're working, are going to march with their medals in the parade the next day.
That's cool.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh, my God. Wow, that's a lot. I didn't know that many people participate, too. That's crazy.
Oh, no, there's like 25,000 people that run in this thing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And 700 are coming from Italy. So we're coordinating all that.
Oh, my God.
I got one more. If you're driving on, I think it's the Kennedy, when you're getting off at Ohio, by Grand in Ohio there's that sign up there. Well, I don't know if you ever saw that. It's a 30-foot by 60-foot flag of the Chicago flag. Did you ever see that? You may or may not. Now that I said it, you'll see it now.
Yeah.
It's a huge flag that is right on the exit by Ohio there, and they've agreed. I had to buy it, and Lisa Ryan, who is our former vice president of Joint Civic Committee, she stumbled upon these people, and so we just ordered the flag, a 30 by 60, because it's not a no shelf, a 30 by 60, and so we're making it custom, and for that whole week, it's going to be flying above the Kennedy Expressway.
Oh, that's cool.
So it just keeps on going.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do things that they're not doing anywhere else around the country. Look, what they're doing around the country, though, is amazing, what New York's doing. Angelo Vivolo, who's in charge of the president of the Columbus Foundation out there, and all those guys in New York, that's the granddaddy.
Okay.
What they do at the parade is what we would all dream of. They make millions of dollars on the parade, goes to charity. It's the granddad. But we as a second city, we don't mind being that, but we want to be a very close. We're narrowing the gap and being a very close second. And what everybody's doing, Los Angeles, what Ana Maria Gatto's doing, what Frank Maselli's doing down at New Orleans, all these people, they're always working so hard. And that's why if we could all come together, can you imagine what we as a community can accomplish? All the stuff we've been complaining about and worried about and bitching about, it all goes away if we come together. So I'd like to think that we at the Joint Civic Committee, National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame, and so many of our 50 plus member organizations doing as a team is helping our community that much. So let's see, what else can I tell you?
Well, what are some other ways to get involved with just Heritage Month in general, Italian Heritage Month?
Well, we are, if you're doing anything, we have an Italian Restaurant Week. That is, it's the third week in October, and basically it's a time for you to celebrate and discover either Italian cafes, delicatessens, espresso shops, restaurants, of course, that you either love, and it's my favorite, and I'm going to go patronize it specifically this week because I haven't been there in a while, or it's my time to try a new one that week. Whatever it is it's to support those folks, because restaurant business, I'm telling you, is one of the hardest businesses out there for sure. That's another podcast.
True.
But we also have several other things going on that we are promoting on our website, jccia.org, because we've asked all the organizations to let us know what they're doing. Some people are having special meetings. We have things that we're doing at the Arcada and the Des Plaines Theater, shows that we're having that are. We've got Mike Marino, who's a comic, and he's the one who started that whole "Let's Make America Italian Again" movement. He'll be there in October.
Love it.
Yeah, we've got a few other guys coming. We've got Uncle Louie coming. We got Frank Spadone coming. Chaz is doing his one-man play, A Bronx Tale. It's all that or the first week in November, that whole time. There's many things happening in our community. Again, you can see the whole list. And there's more. If there's something you want us to promote that you are doing as part of October Italian Heritage Month, we've got there's a day that the Bulls is doing a Heritage Night.
Oh, they are?
In October.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we're announcing that. And we're going to do a lot more of that next year with all the teams putting that all together. Some are trying, and some work, and some don't work as well. So we're going to help with that.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of things going on.
Yeah, I love it. Wow.
So let me give you just a breakdown of what's happening the Columbus Day weekend.
Okay.
So on Friday at noon, we're doing the very special tradition that we do every year to kick it off. It's the flag raising ceremony at Daly Plaza. If you've been to Daly Plaza by the Picasso, there's 300-foot flagpoles. One has a Cook County flag, one has the American flag, one has the state of Illinois flag. What we do at noon or so, 12:30, we will take down, I believe it's the county flag, and slowly raise the Italian flag as we do recognize the Native Americans will be there. They'll do a performance in Daly Plaza, and Daniela Crocco will be doing the anthems as it's raised, as the flag is raised, and there'll be elected officials there. It'd be great. And that's the official kickoff of the weekend. Then on Saturday night, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons doing a special performance for us at the Rosemont Theater. It's almost sold out. But at 4 o'clock, I'm going to be presenting Frankie with our first annual Columbus Lifetime Achievement Medal. It's a medal that we're giving, and we're going to actually give it to him and to Paul Anka, which, why wouldn't we, right? Mm-hmm. Those are opportunities. But that's happening at 4 o'clock on Saturday, and then Saturday night, his concert. Then on Sunday, we're doing the President's Ball, which I'm doing at Galleria Marchetti downtown, right off of, I think it's on Erie or Ohio, one of those two. I think it's Erie, 825. And that's a way for all the representatives of our Italian American community to come together and officially celebrate Columbus Day weekend. And then on Monday is the big day. 9 o'clock, we start at Our Lady of Pompeii Shrine with a mass that is not only, another big thing, not only being celebrated by Father Richard Fragamani, who is our spiritual leader in our community, but we are celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Shrine of Our Lady of Pompeii. It was actually declared an official shrine by the Catholic Church on Columbus Day 30 years ago. So because of that, we have Monsignor Ken Vilo is going to say the Mass also. And the shrine will be in the parade as well. And it's a wonderful thing, and that's at 9 a.m. After the Mass, about 10:15, we all walk in a procession to a Regal Park, the home of, and I still say the home of our Columbus statue, because it hasn't changed. He's not there right now, but it's still the home. And there's also a monument to war veterans there. So we have the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. We'll do a wreath-laying ceremony in honor. We'll do a very, very solemn and respectful salute to our war veterans. And then everybody goes to the parade. And at 12 noon, we start with our opening ceremony, and we'll do that right on State and Wacker. We'll have a stage there, and Daniela Crocco will be doing our anthems, and Paul Anka will be just unleashing this new song he's writing for us in the vein of My Way about Columbus Day, which is a big deal. And then there'll be just an address by the Consul General and a couple people. And then we start with our parade, which will be our biggest one ever. And it'll be on broadcast on ABC7 once again. And then afterwards, everybody, the whole community is invited at 3 o'clock to Casa Italia for our big after party. Mm-hmm. And it's all free. And we got all food and beverage and entertainment. And it's going to be a great, great time. So that's all on Monday. Big deal.
Yeah, that's awesome. In my head, too, I'm thinking, how do you organize all this stuff? It's crazy.
It is crazy.
But yeah, and I still can't get over the Paul Anka thing. That's just huge.
That will be huge. Between that and the Native Americans, I think that's going to then everybody around the country can just be like, what is happening over there?
Yeah. How many floats do you guys have this year too?
So we're going to have entries. We'll have about 160, 170.
Nice.
So,
Has that been growing every year too, or
yeah,
should you try to keep it at a certain
used
number?
to be up there.
Okay.
And then with the COVID and all the other crap, it went down. So, but
Yeah.
again, we didn't think we were going to have a parade anymore. It just wasn't. I mean, a lot of things got canceled, and people didn't want to. Then let's talk about the crime. Go downtown. I don't want to do that. Well, and how about all those protesters?
Yeah.
Well, we had 0 protesters last year.
Yeah.
And then we had probably about 200 police officers around there. Kids, I mean, it's wonderful down there. I mean, it really was. Don't forget, we're the only parade in Chicago that happens on a weekday. We're the only parade in Chicago that goes down State Street, right in front of the Chicago Theater. Nobody else has that. So, I mean,
Yeah,
come on,
it's cool.
it's such a great experience, And no, I'm so proud of the team that's helped put this together. We got the volunteers in the office. We have the organizations have really stepped up and be a part of it. People like Supreme Lobster, people like Scott Harris Hospitality, Greco family, the Gambino family, past presidents and Sergio John Grande. I mean, all these people that are still in it involved. Marianne Gulo is vice chairman of the parade. She was a chairman of the parade. Her father was chairman of the parade. She's still involved. I mentioned Enza before, Ranieri, our officers. I mean, it goes on and on. It's a great
big
situation. Yeah, it really is.
And what's the update with the Columbus statue?
So we're very, very close. I mean, it's exciting because we couldn't share a lot with the community, and some people have a problem with that, and I don't blame them. But by the same token, when you're dealing with legal situations and lawyers, and you got to do what the lawyers tell you,
Yeah.
and you're dealing with people that were a little less than cooperative and nice about it, and it's been challenging. So it's a very, very volatile and very sensitive situation, and you got to walk in eggshells with this thing. At the end of the day, city owns the statue, and they could do what they want. They can melt it down and make keychains out of it. They could have done that.
Yeah.
And our lawsuit is what kept them from doing that, or at least keeping it down. Our lawsuit is the thing that's keeping us talking to them. So we provided a compromise that I think is going to make everybody happy, and they like it. We're going through logistics right now. So the judge has basically said that we have a legitimate lawsuit and it's going forward, and he's ordered settlement conferences, and we've had them several times now with the lawyers of both sides. So I really believe it's going to be a really good compromise that it's going to take care of everybody's concerns, and we're really, really close.
Another thing too, I'm thinking, and if you don't want to answer, don't answer, but what about Trump versus Harris? Does it have any effect on Italians if one or the other gets in office? With all
what
this
is
Columbus
wrong
stuff?
with you? What the hell is your? Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about abortion, Mike. No,
Well, not that deep. I just don't know. Does one support more? Does it affect anything, or does it not matter at all? Should we not care who gets elected, or should people kind of worry?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if the word is worry. I mean, I think it's more of a global issue and more of a all the issues that affect us. I mean, with regards to the economy and migrant issue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who's ever doing what? Both sides are recognizing these issues. At one time, it wasn't like that. The migrants were, no, we stand behind. And now it's like, oh my gosh, look at even the mayor of the city of Chicago, who we've had challenges with. But he's right. He's like, oh, holy cow, what's going on right now? So I think it's going to affect whoever gets in. Is going to affect the Biden camp has acknowledged the Italian American community because Joe Biden.
Yeah, he was at the NIF gala last year.
Oh yeah, he was at the gala. He invited us to. We were at the White House. Well, actually, he didn't, but his wife Jill did, and we had a reception there, and they've acknowledged that. They have acknowledged Italian heritage. They've acknowledged Columbus Day. They've pulled back on the whole "let's change Columbus Day to Indigenous Day" thing, and what Kamala believes in as it pertains to Italian Americans. It's a struggle no matter what.
Yeah.
The Trump side has been a supporter of the Italian Americans, been very vocal about that. There's a video of him saying that he loves Italian Americans.
Yeah.
So, I for me personally, I try to get too political. I have to on certain situations. Bottom line, I believe it all starts at home. And we could talk about Kamala all day. We could talk about Trump for probably 2 days. But at the end of the day, what are we doing to keep, to affect our heritage and culture in a positive way?
100%.
And that's what our time and our conversations. I mean, sure, everybody should vote for your heart. I'm not going to be the one, people don't come to me for that. They come to me for music and meatballs. That's what they want me to be. So I'm not trying to be a Trump, a Kamala, but the whole Make America Italian again, you can't argue with that. I'll tell you what, that's a plan that I go for.
Yeah.
So,
no, and that was beautifully said. You just kind of mentioned with the Columbus statues and stuff that it's hard to work with some people and this and that. So I didn't know if like one side or the other matters, or even Democrat, Republican, period. But like I think you said it beautifully. Like either way, we got to do our part. We can't leave it up to anybody.
We also have another guest coming, Tom DiMagella, who's in charge of the Boston Italian-American community. And Boston, so I love, one of my hobbies is, like many people, is when I travel, I got to hit the Little Italy. I've been to every one of them, even ones that aren't Little Italy, but Italian enclave, a bunch of restaurants by definition, whatever. Boston's Little Italy is, San Diego's got a great one. There's.
I haven't gone. I heard it's amazing.
The Bronx is one of my, right up there for me. I absolutely love it. But Boston is a unique, there's 200 restaurants like in a 3-block rate. It's unbelievable. And anybody who's gone to San Rocco, I think it's San Rocco, it's fabulous. Do you realize that Boston has got Columbus Day canceled? They canceled Columbus Day in Boston. The statues, all that stuff, the problem. And so they had to relocate the statue. They gave the statue to the Knights of Columbus and they put it somewhere else. And they don't have a Columbus Day. They are doing a celebration, Italian. They have a parade now. It has to be the Italian Heritage Parade. And it's not big. It's just that. And that's Boston.
Yeah.
So people talk about, even Chicagoans who say things about our leadership and that about what's happening in Chicago and this and around the country, they fight. We are fighting every day. And a city like Boston. So he's going to be here for not for the parade because he's got his own deal, but he'll be here on Friday for the press conferences. And he's going to talk about, hey, Chicago, you're doing well because arguably the number one Little Italy in the country, we lost Columbus Day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
you guys
crazy.
Still have it.
Yeah.
You guys are still fighting for the statue. You still have a fight. We don't have a fight for it. We're trying, but we don't have a fight for it. So it's going to put things in perspective. Where Chicago is in the fight for Columbus, the holiday and the statue, the relationship with the Italian Americans and Native Americans. All these things that are up there juggling with different positions and opinions. There'll be a lot of revelations happening for people that weekend because of who we got coming.
Yeah, 1,000%. It's cool too. Like every year, I feel like it's getting stronger and strengthened in that. You know what I mean? Like we're not letting it dwindle. So that's why I always give you credit because you're at the forefront of it, man.
Well, we all are. The thing is, I've been lucky to be supported by a lot of great people, and they come. And we have our joint civic committee meeting tonight as we tape this, and I'll have 150 people there, a representative of 40 organizations at least. I'll have the new consul general there. I'll have, it's people are respecting the fact that we're coming together, proud, and positive, and unified has been my mantra since I got involved in this.
Yeah, I love it. No, I feel like you do everything right.
Well,
you do
I don't know. That for sure that's a wrong statement right there.
No,
but I try. We make a lot of mistakes, but hopefully, but things are people are appreciating it. And what Hardcore has always been a sponsor and a supporter. And what you guys are doing, the Columbus Classic bocce tournament coming up. I can't wait for that at Casa Italia.
Yeah,
October 21st, isn't it? September
28th.
8th.
Yeah, 28th.
You think we would know this, right?
Yeah, I know.
No, October 21st is another thing we got going on. I got everything in October.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably have a lot of dates and times to remember. Even when you rattled like every time with the the schedule, I'm like, how does he get in the back of his head? Whatever.
It's all wrong.
How the schedule with Columbus Day. That's cool, but no, I get you. Yeah, a lot of good things. If you're listening, please participate. Join us. Look at the JCCAA, the Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Go on Hardcore. We got to get that PDF or something to send people with the magazine.
Yes.
And if there's anything else you want to show.
It's on the franoy.org website if you want to go to that, and I'll send you a link as well. But yeah, if you really want to know, you talk about those who, what does somebody say when they get, here, this has got everything you want. If you want to get into it, or you could say, here, read this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that simple.
Yeah, read it and then get back.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thanks, Ron. I appreciate you coming by again. It was really cool stories, man. I'm jacked after talking to you today. So,
and now the end is near. So I face
It's gonna
the
be
final
crazy.
podcast.
You might have to get up there with them, huh?
Oh, I am. I was talking to Scott Harris before I came in here, and he was literally practically in tears about this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is real deal.
That's
I mean,
what I'm
Paul
saying.
Anka is an international superstar, and believe me, I know what he gets for a performance.
Yeah.
So for him to do this just shows what kind of a guy and supporter. Gibson's is going to sponsor his float
Yeah.
because he was a partner with not the Gibsons group, but the guys from Steve Lombardo and other guys on back in the day. Paul Anka had a restaurant on Rush Street.
Yeah.
And it was a partner in that. So he loves Chicago, and he said, "This is because I put it to him that way. I said, Paul, this is a great way for you to kind of thank the people who've supported you for so many years." He goes, "You know what? I like the way that sounds. You're right.
Yeah.
Chicago's been right up there with everybody else."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, for him to do something customized too, that's
I
like takes the cake on it all.
I
So,
can't even.
I love it. I can't wait. You got to get that on video for sure.
Oh my gosh! Matter of fact, I see these 3 cameras here. What are you doing October 14th? Can I have you down there at noon? Because I want to have as many
Yeah.
as possible. This is going to be a national thing, a historic thing, and I want to get. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of cameras there, hopefully. But if you're
good.
not doing nothing,
Yeah. Come by for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, Ron. I appreciate it, man. Always a pleasure having you.
love it, man.
And yeah, let us know whenever you got more news. We're here.
Sorry for an ear bleeder, but we got a lot going on.
All right. Thanks again, Ron. Appreciate
brother.
it, man. Yep.